Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. I'd like to welcome everybody to the Township of Nipissing Agenda, Tuesday, September 17th, 6:30 p.m. I'll ask first if there is any disclosure of pecuniary interest. I note that Councillor Foote has, so keep that in mind when we get to accounts to pay. So we'll move on to number 2, which is committee reports. And we'll start with Councillor Young, please.
Thanks, Mayor Piper. I have a little update from Heritage Day because we hadn't had our meeting before our last council meeting. So Heritage Day brought in $1,429.25. The August revenue was $2393.55. Total revenue $3,917.33. 429 visitors was the total for the season. We also talked, Kim is working on funding different areas for the building, so we can get it fixed. Hopefully somebody has some money somewhere. We discussed artifacts. Jillian's still working on that. We also, at our next meeting, we're going to move our meetings to 6 instead of 6:30, which is be fair for Kim and Jillian to get out of there early, and we're all there early anyhow. So that's about it. I don't have any numbers how many people come on the weekend pass.
We
so
don't have that.
So that's all I got.
Okay, great. Okay. Councillor Foote.
Awesome. We had a rec committee meeting yesterday. Bottle drive bottles were collected from the landfills on the weekend. We got 1.5 of them done. Still half would like to be done, and we collected about $740 approximately. So with quite a bit left still at Wolf Lake landfill. So that's going to be picked up graciously by Lisa on Wednesday. So we're very grateful to her for that. We have senior fall prevention classes starting again September 30th at 10 a.m. And that's sponsored by East Perry Sound Community Support Services, and we donate the space. So it's fantastic. Chair yoga classes will start Monday, September 30th, again, 10 classes. This will be the second time we're running it. And we're again asking for donations to the food bank that will split between Calendar and Powassan. Anyone's invited to attend. And it's donation from us. So we donate the fees for that. Teen dance is next, October 25th, same DJ. There's going to be a costume contest, which there'll be a gift card for them afterwards. Free water, and there's going to be snacks and chips available. I think it'll be great fun. It'd be interesting to see Kim in a costume.
Oh, yes, I'm sure. We won't be posting that picture.
And then after that, roast beef dinner is coming next. So roast beef dinners after that. We'll start ticket sales for that on October 1st to November 4th and see where we go from there. That's at 4 to 7 p.m. The Voodoos have graciously offered the entire team to come out and serve. So we don't have to worry about servers. We just have to worry about cleanup. So we'll take care of the cleanup, let them serve. And it's gonna be a plated dinner, right? So they don't have to come get their own, they'll just take the plates right to the guests at the tables. Fantastic. And then this weekend, the community day celebration was a lot of fun. And we all took part. I think it was so much fun. 16 vendors, James, of the 19 that was expected, with face painting and balloons and the bake sale. The bake sale funds were exciting at $122. So that was really nice to see. And the kids loved the thing where they, with the fire hose. What is it called?
Obstacle course.
The obstacle course, thank you. They actually had so much fun dragging that fire hose underneath and spraying it, so that was fun. And the equipment, they climbed up there, and Dan was telling me they were insistent on digging holes. They're gonna dig holes. So it was, I think it was all a great day, and we have a lot of learnings, and we can move with it for next year. And I think that's the next meeting where there was no Command Community Center update for us this time. And our next meeting in October, we're really going to talk strategic plan. What's next? Plans, facilities, budget ideas, and go from there with the next meeting on October 7th.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Councillor Scott.
I was not able to attend the meeting last night. And I was at the Saturday event, it was awesome. Had lots of good comments, and one of the comments that was raised, we talked about is the kids have, there's a cemented in little backhoe that they manually do. And it was brought to our attention if we could maybe try to direct, maybe try to find one to install in the park. The kids love that. It's a great place to let them start. It's something we can look into later on. And I appreciate everybody that took one through the team on Saturday. It was a lot of wood cleaning.
But it was excellent. Great day. Counselor Kirk.
Alrighty, library board meeting last night. The OTF resiliency grant, we have another $9,000, got another $9,000 on September 14th. It still has to be transferred from the office, but it's there. So the 20% was held back and it won't come in until April 17th next year. Funny how they do that, they gotta have proof that all the work was done and then that it was spent. So that 20% we're gonna take out of reserves and use it. And then the 20% that comes back in it on April 17th. We'll put it back in reserves. So that's that. I think there are 5,964 left over. That's the 20%. Hours of operation possibly opening on Saturday from one now because we've got our budget sort of worked out a little bit, so the finances are there. We also had a very engaged conversation about vacation time versus a vacation paycheck for paycheck, especially for full-time employees. So they're also going to be doing a costume exchange for Halloween, October 15th until the end of the month. And then Voodoo Skate on October 18th. And Jarrett Dupuy will be doing a community conversation for wellness. December 7th. They're hoping that there will be a parade of lights. If there is, we will put a float in. If not, because there is some controversy about parades at this point. December 12th, Santa, and December 18th, open house. We'll probably all be getting invitations for that. And then we discussed a potential millionaires night for next year for fundraiser. Maybe using the curling rink or Crow Creek Arena, one or the other. We just also discussed snow plowing because we have to find a new person, and we found one for $75 for each plow or $2,500 for the season. Not sure what that all, that the town's not going to be doing it for us. They want $100 plow or anyway. OTF capital grant. We'll probably have to close one day during when they're redoing it. Because that's for all the lighting in place and the heat exchange or a heat pump. So we'll have to close one day for the construction of that, for putting the lights in. And then we have a couple of new policies, right to disconnect. Here, remember that? Where an employee, when they're off work, you send them an email, they have the right to not look at that email until they're on the clock again. And that's fair. I mean, you know, it's up to them, totally up to them. It's the same as the right to work overtime and all that. The right to refuse overtime. Anyway, also, a new policy on board members' duties and responsibilities. they had written it off of, the Sioux did it. Anyway, it was in the Employment Standards Act and denote paragraph numbers because I remember the Employment Standards Act from the old days. And it didn't seem like the right place. So while we were in the meeting, I went, that's not right. So I Googled it and it had nothing to do with that we got from the Sioux. They just punched it in some. So anyway, that we struck that from and we're working on it still. Leaf grant, or sorry, seed grant. October, sometime in October, we're gonna get information on whether we got that or not, so. And that is everything I have.
Sounded like a pretty involved meeting.
Yeah, it was almost 9 o'clock when I got out of there.
Okay. Well, I had a long meeting today with the Pines, but not so in depth. Financial report, we had adopted a parking report. We went over the list of projects undertaken and completed. Same thing, discussed snow removal budget, looking for 3 tenders, but not until the 25-26 season. But we need this so we can budget, because what comes next, report on Pines 2 from Leo and Calvin. So now we have to negotiate with DSAB, and they want a 10-year plan. But we can renegotiate after 5 years, and I didn't realize this, I don't know, 100% of DSAB funding comes from the levy from the townships. That I wasn't aware. So because the Pines is a housing development, I was most excited to see that we're going to start our negotiations and everything. We suggested, they said, we'll have to go back to the office and then we'll have to talk to Queen's Park. So a lot of discussion, not a lot happened, but it was an interesting one. And again, a meeting 1 month from now. And otherwise, I just want to thank the museum, the rec committee, all the staff, because it was just a great day on Saturday. Not a negative, I didn't hear a negative except, my hair was greasy, things like that. But other than that, it was a really good event, and I just look forward to more of those in the future, really positive for the community. And with that, I don't see any more committee reports, so we go on to number 3, bylaw. And I have to read this. This part of our meeting is declared a public meeting pursuant to the provisions of section 3412 of the Planning Act, RSO 1990, to discuss an application for a change to zoning bylaw number 2020 by the Township of Nipissing. And I think everybody has the information, and John Paul put it in the package. The report was prepared by Patrick and Jamie. I've looked over it. I don't see any issues whatsoever, but I'm just one set of eyes. Does anybody else have any comments or questions? Okay, it seems pretty open and shut. So I need a mover and a seconder, and yep. Councillor Kirky and Councillor Scott. So it's number R 2024-181, moved by Councillor Kirky, seconded by Councillor Scott, that we pass bylaw number 2024-40, being a bylaw to amend zoning bylaw 2020 as amended. Read a first, second, and third time and pass this 17th day of September 2024. All in favor? Carried. Signed, sealed, and delivered.
Thank you,
You're welcome.
and thanks for helping John Paul. Pleasure to work with you. My only other comment is the outhouse at the Wolf Lake Park needs pumping.
Okay,
It's gone. It's gone? Okay. As of yesterday, you needed one. It's gone. All right, thank you, thank you.
better pumping?
Yes.
Oh, okay, welcome to fall. Okay, we move on to. Pardon? Staff. Yep, staff report, addition of the deputy treasurer position of the organizational chart for the township of Nipissing. I'll ask Chris to speak on this, but I'll just add that this is the material that we have looked at in the past. And you'll notice that different positions have been rejigged when we get to that.
Yes.
But in the meantime, does anybody have a question over the background or overview? Yes.
It pretty much follows exactly what we had discussed before.
So we had brought this to council for discussion previously. So with this request is the change to two of the municipal position descriptions. First of all, there would be the creation of a deputy treasurer office assistant position. We will be taking the deputy treasurer title from the land planning and technology administrator. And to be clear, this position has grown so much that there isn't time to dedicate to the treasury side of things. So we're just moving that title over. We had moved it over for COVID. Now we're moving it back. When we had the jobs weighted by Pesci and Associates, that was not included in the weighting scheme for that purpose. We knew we were moving forward. We've also moved the deputy clerk administrative assistant. We've changed the title from administrative assistant deputy clerk. We've just moved deputy clerk to the front to make it clear that that's the role. And we've added in a requirement for completion of AMCTO programming that is following the clerk side on that position description, and we've put the treasury training on the treasury job description. And staff has been consulted on this the whole way. Those that are affected have been consulted and they're aware of the changes that are coming.
The only other thing, do we look at the organizational chart?
It's all part and parcel of everything.
On that, originally, the deputy clerk administrative assistant, the first one I saw, they were going to do all the committees, but now they've spread it out better. So land planning technology administrator will do cemetery. Deputy treasurer office assistant will do the museum. And the deputy clerk administrative assistant will do the rec committee. So.
And previously, I had been doing the museum and the cemetery. So we're just going to spread that out. So that all of our staff goes over time.
So other than that, shall we go on with this?
If there's no questions.
Are there any comments or questions? I think, I think it's just gonna make things better. And the way things are these days, if we can do anything better, we need to take that opportunity. So we have this, now just it's a bylaw to adopt a municipal position description for municipal staff positions for the township of Nipissing. And again, all of these were done with Pesci.
Yes.
We didn't do them ourselves because we got in a lot of trouble when we did. I can speak for that. So anyway, to adopt these positions. I need a mover and a seconder. Okay. Have you guys worked it out all the way past correspondence, or you just volunteering?
Just volunteer.
Okay, great, that's good. Glad to hear. So it's number R 2024-182, moved by Councillor Scott, seconded by Councillor Kirky, that we pass bylaw number 2024-41, being a bylaw to adopt municipal position descriptions for municipal staff positions for the Township of Nipissing, read a first, second, and third time, and passed the 17th day of September 2024. All in favor? Carried. Okay,
And there's the organization chart.
okay. So this is the revised organizational chart, which is just this, and those are the minor changes that were made. And of course, adding one position. So I need a mover and a seconder. Okay, thank you. Councillor M and Councillor Foot. It's number R 2024-183, moved by Councillor Yam, seconded by Councillor Foot, that we pass bylaw number 2024-42, being a bylaw to adopt a revised organizational chart for the Township of Nipissing, read a first, second, and third time, and passed the 17th day of September 2024. All in favor? Carried.
So for the next meeting, we'll need council to direct on how to go forward. Our HR policy manual recruitment and selection portion states that qualified candidates can be appointed from internal. And it's up to council if we want to post the position.
And do we make that decision now? Or
I would like some direction so that we can go forward with appointment.
I think in our discussions, we've suggested that we already have a viable candidate, and we probably shouldn't waste staff or other candidates' valuable time by doing that. So my suggestion is that we hire from within, and as we did with John Paul, we make this intern become a full-time position, and you can comment, question, or whatever. That's one person's opinion.
Absolutely, I agree with you 100%.
Okay,
Save a lot of money going through the hoops.
time and money, and if you have a qualified candidate, why would we look elsewhere? So I think that would be our resolution for the next time then.
It'll be a bylaw to appoint and we'll have it on the next agenda.
Okay.
So that's that.
So having done that. Okay. The minutes of the meeting held September 3rd, mover and secondary. Thanks. Number R 2024-184, moved by Councillor Kirky, seconded by Councillor Scott, that the minutes of the regular council meeting held September 3rd, 2024 be adopted as published. All in favor? Carried. And moving along, the District of Parry Sound Municipal Association meeting, Point O Barrel. Okay, so we authorize myself, Councillor Kirky, and Councillor Scott to attend the meeting. Need a mover and a seconder, and I'm gonna have, yeah, I would too. Thank you very much, Councillor Foot. Councillor Yam. And I'm sure we'll bring back tons of excellent reports. It's number R 2024-185, moved by Councillor Foot, seconded by Councillor Yem, that we authorize Mayor Tom Piper, Councillor Stephen Kirky, and Councillor James Scott to attend the District of Parry Sound Municipal Association Fall 2024 meeting being held in Point O'Barrow on September 27th, 2024. All in favor? It's unanimous. Next, the resolution that came from correspondence last week. I just want to read it over to make sure everybody is in agreement. This is the one for Township of Nairn and Hyman and the Township of Baldwin, where the government is shipping nuclear waste there and putting it in the lake, and didn't have to ask for permission or say anything or mention it was gonna be on the highways. And what we're asking is, we're requesting the provincial government draft legislation to include municipal consultation in the transportation or deposition potentially hazardous materials. So we broadened it to make it more than just nuclear waste, materials that may affect the host municipality. Sound good? Okay, mover and seconder, thank you. Councillor Kirky and Councillor Scott. It's number R 2024-186, moved by Councillor Kirky, seconded by Councillor Scott, that the Council of the Township of Nipissing supports resolution 2024-EM1-2, requesting the provincial government draft legislation to include municipal consultation in the transportation or deposition of potentially hazardous materials that may affect the host municipality. All in favor? Carried, thank you.
It's been on the news quite a bit too, if you watch. Yeah,
People aren't happy.
no,
And it's the fact that they weren't consulted, I think.
yeah. It's almost like when they were gonna put Toronto's garbage in the mine site at Kirkland Lake and realized when they put dye in it, that it's in the Blanche River within an hour. Yeah. So maybe they can do something about stopping this.
We can only hope.
Yeah.
I don't know who, was it you, Kim, that did the newsletter?
It was.
Yes.
Okay, that's your fault. Okay, no, sorry, I apologize, the first page. Wordy as always, but other than that, all the committees, I hope you've checked it out. I think it's really well done, it's colorful. If that doesn't get their attention, I don't know what will.
We tried to highlight all the various departments, Public Works, Planning did a page, Fire was on there, the Recreation Committee. Jillian did a fantastic job on the 2 museum pages and that, so we tried to highlight, all areas of the township for the residents, so they got a little taste of everything.
And it was really good, the planning part, I didn't know all those things, so. Pay a lot more attention in the future. So if there's no comment or question otherwise, mover to seconder to adopt, okay? Councillor Yem. Councillor Foot. So it's number R 2024-187, moved by Councillor Yem, seconded by Councillor Foot, that we approve the 2024 fall newsletter for circulation as presented. In favor? Carried. And thank you, Kim. I've heard so much discussion about this. I need to move her into seconder, and I'll eye you two, and then there'll be some comment and question. Councillor Scott, are you going to thank you ever so much? Councillor Kirky. What's number R 2024-188, moved by Councillor Scott, seconded by Councillor Kirky, that the council receives the Washington District Union Public Library 2024 revised final budget. Total amount to be paid, $35,685.58, and approves it. That the surplus budgeted amount for the library 2024 levy of $6,372 be placed into reserve for use in 2025 towards the expected levy increase. Any comments or questions? Okay, good. All in favor? Carried. It's not bad, boy. Okay, next. We were talking about this yesterday. Will and I, does this work for everybody now? This moving the council from 15th to the 22nd? I know people had to change things around, but. Okay, didn't affect me because I don't have a life, but for some of the other people it might have, so. If it's good, then I'll get a move and we'll go and adopt it. So it's number R 2024-189, moved by Councillor Foote, seconded by Councillor Yam, that council changes the date of the October 15th, 2024 regular scheduled council meeting to October 22nd, 2024, canceling the October 15th meeting. All in favor? Carried. Next, we have correspondence, and again, I thank Ken, because it was pretty light this week.
After all the newsletter reading, I figure I better get you a light one.
I just looked at the pictures, but anyway. First of all, we have Boston District Union Public Library held August 12th. And now we've revisited, whatever. So great. Thank you letter for North Bay Regional Health Center for the township's annual payment towards the township's pledge. It's interesting, I used to coach Paul Heinrich, president and CEO. And he went on to bigger and better things. 3 minutes of the Nipissing Township Museum Board meeting held September 4th. And we've heard about that as well. And the last resolution from the Township of Springwater saying that they would like more information from the members of provincial parliament and members of parliament for regular communications to their represented municipalities. In our case, I think I don't know if everybody gets this, but every time there's a grant or levy or anything that's applicable to township, I get it. And Chris gets it, and it's from either Anthony or Vic's office. They attend every opportunity, even when I didn't attend Heritage Day, Anthony was there in the pouring rain. I think we've got a really good relationship with our MP and MPP. And I think this particular township has burned some bridges with theirs, and they're not getting the responses that they would like. And I would like to not act on this and continue the great relationship that we have now, because right now, if you wanted, I could give you the phone and you could call Vic right now and he would answer that phone. And so would Anthony. So I think we're in a great position. So if we could, I would suggest we don't make a resolution saying they need to be responsive to our needs. Now, that doesn't mean they give us the money we want, but they are responsive.
They always speak to it.
Yep.
You're right, we do have a good relationship with our MP and our.
And I do appreciate that. So to accept correspondence. Okay, right, and you have to step out anyways. Okay, moved by Councilor Foote. Second by Councilor Yam. It's number R 2024-190, moved by Councillor Foot, seconded by Councillor Yam, that we accept the correspondence as presented. On favor. Carried. Thank you. The accounts. As much as it's nice to meet once a month, there was a lot of paper in the accounts. They have diminished somewhat, so that's a good thing, now that we're back every 2 weeks. Are there any comments or questions?
What is the EFAP insurance program like, this fire department?
Yes, so when we switched, we took the fire department insurance out of our regular policy last year. This is part of that.
Oh, okay. Remember it was taking it out, right? Just 2 lines for the excavator. There's, public works excavator, 634.68. Public works excavator, 43.6.
That would be the trailer. The excavator had to do safety on it. So took some wooden boards off and put some plates on top of the deck instead of the wooden boards because they just keep rotting.
Oh, okay.
So the trailer and the excavator kind
They go
of,
together.
they go together. So they're just same unit number.
Every meeting, I learned something new. It's great. 15 years later. Okay, so I look to you, gentlemen. So Councillor Scott, and come on, thank you, Councillor Kirk. I know Councillor Scott always hates leaving at the end of the night, so that's why I looked at this side, because they're with me. Number R 2024-191, moved by Councillor Scott, seconded by Councillor Kirk, giving the statement of accounts dated September 3rd, 9th, and 10th, 2024, totaling $115,452.42 be approved. All in favor? Carried. As always, I thank you. I was afraid you'd already gone home.
You know,
You could. Only 2 more pieces, 2 more resolutions. This one is a confirming bylaw. I need a mover and a seconder. Thank you. Councillor Foot and Councillor Yam. It's number R 2024-192. Moved by Councillor Foot, seconded by Councillor Yam, that we pass bylaw number 2024-41, being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of council at its meeting held on September 17th, 2024, read the first, second, and third time, and passed this 17th day of September 2024. All in favor? Carried. Last but not least. Yeah, got Councillor Kirky and Councillor.
Yeah, he did it.
It's number R 2024-193, moved by Councillor Kirky, seconded by Councillor Foot, that the meeting be adjourned time 7:08 PM. Next regular meeting to be held October 1st, 2024. All in favor? Carried. Is that the first night you can buy tickets for the